Good evening, football fans, and welcome to L'Anse Creuse North High School. Brad Fetters alongside the newest member of our MTGA crew, Adam Abraham, as we get set to call the action tonight in boys varsity football matchup between the L'Anse Creuse North Crusaders and the Ford Falcons. And Adam, a very pivotal game here in week 4 of the MHSA schedule, a very pivotal game in the MAC White as both of these teams come in with a record of 1-1. LCN coming off a very impressive road victory.
Yes, LCN came off that victory against Grosse Pointe North. It was a one-touchdown spread. They were down early in that game by one touchdown, scored too late to get it going, and it's a very, very good L'Anse Creuse North offense, very balanced. They come at you a lot of different ways, a lot of speed in that backfield. But like you said, it's a very pivotal game for L'Anse Creuse North and Utica Ford. But being that 1-1, you got to get to 6 wins to get that lock for the playoff spot. These teams have some tough cross-divisional matchups they're going to be coming at. So it's whoever gets the win in this one is ahead in the race.
Taking a look at Utica Ford, a 4-touchdown victory last week. What do you expect out of them here tonight?
They're a very jet sweep offense. They do a lot of running. They're very quick, as Coach Kiner touched on before the game. They're not very big, but they are super quick. They got a lot of speed, and they work really hard, and they're going to come at you a lot of different ways.
Looking forward to this matchup here tonight. Opening kickoff coming up next right here on MTGA Channel 5.
I'll be right back.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Welcome back to Robert Zimmerman Field. Brad Fetters alongside Adam Abraham nearly set to go here. And what should be an interesting tilt between LCN and Utica, both in second place in the MAC White, a game behind Grosse Pointe South. Utica Ford won the toss. They elected to receive the football. They will go left to right across your screens. LCN in those home black jerseys with gold numerals. Utica Ford in their away whites with maroon letters and numbers. And Adam, here we go. Ball on the tee, and we are underway. Deep kick received back at the 5 by number 14, Tavion Thompson. Thompson cuts to his left, gets tripped up just over the 15-yard line. And that's where Ford will put the ball in play for their first possession of the ball game.
Here we go with the Utica Ford offense. They'll show you a couple different quarterbacks in the likes of Chance Kirkwood or Evan Pletz, so we'll see who they start with under center today. Both quarterbacks are mobile and they can throw, so they'll show you a couple different offerings, but this is a high-tempo Utica Ford offense. It's going to be a quick game out here today.
It's going to be Chance Kirkwood under center for this first series. 3 wide receivers set out of the pistol. Sends a man in motion. The motion man is Otansky. Up the middle comes the handoff. Plowing through for a couple is Alex Wells, the junior. Gets it up to the 20-yard line. A gain of a couple will bring up a second down and 8 to go.
Utica Ford team that will run the ball on you. The front 7 for the Crusaders, very good. That's the strength of their defense. 3 linebackers that have played together and started all together last year. They're very good on the run defense. So Utica Ford will be looking to set that up and see if they can grind a couple away. Don't get discouraged early with these 1, 2, 3 yard gains.
Same formation, one setback. The handoff once again met right at the line of scrimmage. Loses yards after that initial contact. It was Wells once again, and it'll bring up a 3rd and long. Wells will come out of the ball game and replaced in the lineup by Frank Stoltz. Stoltz, a junior, 6 foot, 220 pounds. So good couple opening plays for this L'Anse Creuse North defense, who looks a lot better this season after a couple disappointing years defensively. Falcons break the huddle. Kirkwood senior signal caller back there at the quarterback position, and now we have a timeout on the field. It will be called by Utica Ford. Kirkwood, 6'3", 190 pounds. Adam will also play a lot of safeties, a terrific defensive back for the Falcons as well, so a guy that plays both sides of the football. Hazy skies, very humid. Temperatures in the low 80s. At some point, you would think the weather could play a factor in tonight's ball game.
Yeah, we were talking to Coach Kiner before this game, and we mentioned that, Brad, you mentioned the heat, and he goes, man, we love the heat. We love the sweat. They're a team, they run out there. They worked hard in August through all this heat on this turf, so it might favor L'Anse Creuse North here.
Kirkwood out of the shotgun, takes his chest-high snap, rolls out to his left, looking for a receiver downfield. Got one wide open on the far side, twists and turns, and finally driven out of bounds. Tackle made there by Thomas Monty. So the first pass of the game is completed out to number 14, Tavion Thompson. Good enough for a first down, and it moves the chains.
L'Anse Creuse North had Utica Ford there. Kirkwood rolled off, and when he turned around, there was an outside linebacker right on his rear end on the rollout. Had about 3 seconds to fire that ball off, and Thompson was just able to get enough room in between his quarterback to be able to hold that one in. Great throw.
Kirkwood, direct handoff this time. Moving those legs as well. 4 different LCN tacklers in on the stop, including number 9, Woodson.
That's some driven, motivated football on that run right there by Wells. Got hit at the line of scrimmage, but was still able to pick up 3, 4, 5 yards, and that's what's going to take to grind this L'Anse Creuse North defense down. You're going to have to keep pushing the ball at them.
LCN comes out with 3 down linemen. 3 wide receiver set once again. Handoff to Wells. Goes to the right side this time. Meets his match as they actually pick him up and slam him down. Terrific defensive effort that time by that front 7.
And that was the whole front 7. You saw 7 black hats on the football right there, not letting Wells get those yards after contact. That's what's so big, is when you hit your man, take him down, and it'll set him up for a 3rd and short.
Ball is marked at the 38-yard line. The line to gain is the 43. 3rd down and 5 to go for this Ford offense. They really haven't deviated from this offensive look as Kirkwood goes back, drops back, fires across the middle. Dangerous pass in and out of the hands of Joey Sorgi. The 3rd incomplete, and it'll bring up a 4th down for the Falcons.
Quick design throw there by Kirkwood. Got it off. He had all day. Great protection initially by the Utica Ford. He had time, but like I mentioned, that was clearly a design route, that slant to the tight end right down the middle, and almost got his tight end caught in between 2 linebackers there. That ball falling innocently to the turf is probably the best scenario for them on that throw.
Jeremy Terrace, the punter. Two different LCN returners back. It's a good high end-over-end kick, called for a fair catch, and a collision down there as David Gattin comes up, the sophomore, to make the catch right at the 28-yard line. So that's where LCN will put the ball in play for their very first possession of this ball game. 8:51 remaining in the first quarter.
Very excited to see this LCN offense. You know, under Anthony Kiner in his 7th year as football coach, it's been a high-flying, fast-paced offense. They kept that tempo, but for now, they're not throwing the ball 40 times a game anymore. They're going to be 50-50 run pass. You don't know what you're going to get, and that starts on the back of Michael Miles, the junior running back.
Yeah, he's a talented one. Fake the handoff, throw one out, a little bit of a slant there, diving out. Michael Miles lining up that time in the slot position, gets the reception, picks up 4 solid yards, we'll say 5, and brings up 2nd down and 5 to go.
That's one of the reasons this LCN offense is so dangerous, because you can take Miles and slide him out. Great athlete.
Szymanski, low handoff. A low snap and a tough handoff. Samuel Bodley, the senior running back, picks up a couple. Dangerous near exchange there. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 4. So 3rd and manageable here for the Crusaders, looking to keep this drive alive. Szymanski in the shotgun. Bodley in his left hip pocket, 4 wide receiver set. They look to spread it out. And having to rush to throw because of the pass rush that time of Austin Myers. Zemansky throws that one into the ground, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Austin Myers broke right through, jumped right over the top of the center. No one had him picked up. They only had 4 going in off the D-line. Not great protection there from the Crusaders, and it'll cost them a 3rd down conversion.
Tavion Thompson, the Falcon deep. He's at the 35-yard line. Not anticipating a very deep kick here. He's only about 30 yards off of the line of scrimmage. The snap's good. The kick is up and away. It's a spiraling kick that's going to hit at the 36 and take a little bit of an LCN bounce where it'll be down at the 31-yard line. So LCN goes 3 and out, punts it over to Ford, who will put the ball in play with their 2nd possession of this game.
In this game, we only see a couple minutes into the game. Couple 3 and out for LCN. On the other side, only 1 first down for Utica Ford. You know, talking and reading everything coming up to this game, we were expecting a lot of points, a lot of scores, and both offenses, they look stagnant, not a whole lot of movement, just a couple simple runs. So we'll see if these teams start to evolve a little bit as this game progresses and see a little bit different look from the offense.
Kirkwood back out in the quarterback position, turns, hands off. Nope, it's a fake. Little screen pass out to number 4, Ostentowski. Lucky to gain a yard there on 1st down. It'll bring up a 2nd and 9. 7.5 minutes now remaining in the opening quarter of play. Good pursuit that time by LCN.
Yeah, Griffin Woodson was the senior defensive back in on that tackle. He had him read all day, took a pump fake in on Kirkwood, and fell right back out to make that open field tackle. Nice read on the screen.
Thompson, your wide receiver at the very bottom of the screen. A little shovel pass to Wells, bottled up in the backfield and taken down right at the 30-yard line. Loss of a couple, and it'll bring up a 3rd and long now for the Falcons.
Utica has only shown 1 pass so far, so LCN's jumped the gun on that run that time. They dialed up a blitz, sent 6, and he was all over as that looked like almost a little draw play out of the backfield and just absolutely eaten up by the Crusaders.
Ford taking a lot of time to break the huddle. They've already had to take 1 timeout. Approaching a delay of game penalty here. Going to have to hurry to get this snap off. 4 wide receivers set. They send a man in motion. It's Wells, and a flag comes out before the snap. And a little extracurriculars there as the quarterback, Kirkwood, was shoved down. But no call on that, and we await the officials' call. It's going to be a dead ball, false start penalty on the Falcons. So that'll back them up 5 more yards and turn this 3rd and long into 3rd and longer. 3rd and 17. They have to get it all the way out to the 41 for a 1st down.
Utica came out pretty quick, but as you mentioned, they're starting to slow down. We're about 10 plays in now for this offense. A little bit more methodical from Kirkwood.
And they got burned in that very first possession and had to take a timeout. This appears to be a design QB run, upended, good open field tackle made by Logan Simons. And Ford will have to punt the ball away once again.
I like that play call there of that quarterback draw to, like as you mentioned, the design run. It's not a play. You don't really want to force your quarterback to have to throw. It was 3rd and 17, so that's a long ways to go. Easy way, move the ball up, give your punter a little bit more space, and just send the defense back out there.
And pick up a little chunk yardage and punt it away. Terrace the punter. LCN's got 2 men deep once again. Snaps good. Terrace kicks it away. End over end kick once again. Just going to bounce in between the 2 Crusaders and takes a terrific forward bounce. This one's going to be rolling all the way down to the 10-yard line. So this LCN offense backed up now. Going to have to go 90 yards to find pay dirt. 5:12 remaining in the first quarter of play. The score remains 0-0. And this is an LCN team, Adam, that came off a very grinding road victory over Grosse Pointe North and hoping to maybe carry some of that momentum in after the win last week.
Exactly, and I believe it was the week before they lost in a throttle to Warren Mott, and they came out slowing that Grosse Pointe North, but they turned it up on the second half.
And the Warren Mott team making the move down from the MAC Red. That's going to be a team that is going to contend for a MAC White title. Broken play here. Some poor tackling by the Falcons. Off to the races and finally out of bounds before getting upended. Michael Miles, you talked about him being a playmaker from the running back position. They roll him out that time. They find him on the far sideline, and he raced up, picking up a big chunk of yards, 44 yards on the pitch and catch. And they're going to mark him all the way back now on the LCN 46, so still a 36-yard gain there for Miles.
And here we go, the quick tempo. LCN already on the line with the snap.
Miles goes out once again, swing pass. And Ford unable to tackle once again. Same basic play, run to the opposite side of the field. Number 15, David Getney, making the catch, stretching out past the sticks for a first down.
Nothing too fancy, you know. Kiner saw that single coverage there on that one side and an easy play out. Get a nice first down. Keep moving the chains.
Szymanski once again, same play to Miles. Ford has it read well, and this time they come up with that tackle. Evan Platz out there, number 7 in white, makes the stop.
And again, Kiner's going to keep going to it. That's 3 screens in a row. These cornerbacks are 7-10 yards off these fast wide receivers. LCN's got speed out there. He's going to keep going to those swing passes.
This time they go to Miles once again, so 4 straight times they run that play. Pushed out of bounds once again by Platz. So Miles real busy out there. And it's going to be a 3rd and short. We'll call it 3rd down and 1. The line to gain is the 30-yard line.
Michael Miles coming over, limping to the Crusaders sideline down here, taking his helmet off, calling the trainer over, excuse me.
And he's going to take a seat down on the bench, helmet off. That would be a potential big blow for the Crusader offense if he can't continue. Another short pass, read once again by Platz. Evan Platz real busy right now. The junior safety coming up to make those tackles. Chains move after the pitch and catch, and LCN driving down the field.
And another quick, that was just a go route right over the middle to the slot wide receiver. A design throw, perfect. Catch that throw in space, you might be able to open up a little bit more.
And this time the handoff goes straight up the gut. Sam Bodley, senior running back. Bodley was busy in week 1. He plunged one in from a yard out for a touchdown, and then impressive win over the rivals L'Anse Creuse. Bodley, a lone running back in this set. Quick swing pass once again, no surprise. Number 7, Platz in on the tackle.
Third time we've seen that play on this drive, and that time they held them to about 4 on that catch. Still moving the ball forward.
Petrucci, number 19, and those orange and green kicks with the catch. Szymanski, Petrucci again. And guess who with the tackle? Colin Toon and Evan Platz. Ball hawks out there on defense.
Absolutely, and they're getting perfect reads off of Szymanski on these screen passes.
And LCN really not overcomplicating things right now, and Ford just got to be pounding their heads against the wall because LCN's running the same play over and over and over and picking up solid yards.
And that's the thing is they've now run that single play 3 times, 2 to the other side, and it's just moving the ball forward. Utica doesn't have an answer. They subbed in a defensive back 2 plays ago for their linebacker, so they now have a couple less guys in the middle. They're starting to cheat to the outside a little bit, and that's part of Kiner's game plan is he'll pound you, and then he's going to take that middle because that's going to be open the next time they try to run in there.
Wait for the official's call here. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Automatic first down. So additional yardage after the play.
And that's costly for Utica. You know, you finally get them slowed down. You're just outside of the red zone, and you coming up albeit a third and short, it's still a third down, an opportunity to send out the kicking unit for L'Anse Creuse North, and your defense just makes a mental error pushing the quarterback.
Szymanski up top. Ford not fooled this time. Number 14, Tavion Thompson, and number 2, Chance Kirkwood, the quarterback, with the tackle. A loss of 2 yards moves the football back to the 13-yard line. And LCN, Adam, can pick up a first down without scoring a touchdown. Second down and 12, 2:45 remaining in the first quarter.
This is where LCN likes to go to the running game.
Szymanski looking to go up top's got a receiver on the slant. Touchdown, Crusaders. Number 11, Xavion Smith with the catch. And just like that, LCN goes 90 yards, finally cashing in from 12 yards out.
Easy.
And lead it now 6-0.
Easy pitch and catch to Mansky to Smith. Got a pump fake. His cornerback jumped up. They thought it was another screen, like I had mentioned. Just takes off right down the field. Wide open was Smith in the back of the end zone. Easy 6 points for the Crusaders.
Minchella, the kicker for LCN, number 13.
LCN's got a 11th lineman running onto the field right now.
That's Jakari Hamilton takes his spot. Snap is low. Nice job by the holder to get that football up. And that might be a big factor in this game. Appears to be number 8, Julian Guizdala, outside linebacker that was able to spin that football. No, maybe number 9, Griffin Woodson. We'll give Woodson credit for that hold. And with 2:37 remaining now in the first quarter, LCN is up 7-0.
And we'll go back to that last play that realistically it's the entire drive for L'Anse Creuse North. They come out, swing pass, swing pass, swing pass. You're working the ball. You're getting your ball to your athletes at open space on the outside. That's the MO for this Crusader offense. When they go outside of the running game, they want to get Miles and LaFada and these other quick wide receivers. I can't emphasize that enough. They're fast out there, and they kept pushing the ball, and finally they were able to open up the middle enough, and Szymanski found Smith for 6. Excellent play calling by the Crusaders to bounce back after that rocky first drive to come back with the score on the second one.
This is an offensive line for LCN that's very young, and these short, quick hitters makes life a lot easier for the offensive linemen because they're not having to hold their blocks nearly as long as they usually do. And this kick will go out of bounds for a penalty. So it'll be Ford now looking for some offense. 2 stalled out drives. They pin LCN deep, but the Crusaders able to go 90 yards. And now we have that lead 7-0. So it'll be Chance Kirkwood once again for the Falcons, taking the field at the quarterback position. And this is a Ford offense through 3 games that has only averaged 13 points per game, and including in those 13 points per game was a shutout loss to Grosse Pointe South.
Yeah, and this is a Utica offense that needs to get going. You're going to be running out of time here quickly against the Crusaders with this stout defense. You got to get the ball moving and give your defense a break here.
4 linebacker look for the LCN defense, and Wells kicks it to the outside, picks up 3 yards on first down.
I want to go back to that last point about giving your defense a break. Right now, Utica's got to take control, get a couple first downs. Very fast-paced LCN offense. Defense was out there 7 minutes on that last drive. You cannot afford a 3-and-out here, because this is LCN team that's going to go. They're going to go for the throat if given the chance. Got to give them a break.
Kirkwood looks over to his sidelines. Turns to his left, will keep it, bounces off one would-be tackler, but gets stood up at the 40-yard line.
Talk about patience for a runner, for running backs, wide receivers, even quarterbacks. You wait for your blocks to develop. You You just give it time, and he was very, Kirkwood was very patient in that last run. Bounced to the outside, didn't like the first hold, moved along for the second, eventually got tied up. The hold just wasn't there.
3rd and 5 from the left hash. Kirkwood in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers set. LCN giving them a lot of pad on the outside. Kirkwood looking to go deep. It's a wobbly pass, and it falls to the turf. Would-be receiver was Joey Sorgi. So another 3 and out. Definitely what you're looking for if you're an LCN fan.
Looked like Kirkwood took a quick 3-step drop and just threw that ball to a spot. Wasn't looking at the wide out, and like you said, a wobbly pass. That made me nervous the second it left his hand. A little bit too far up in the air. That's dangerous, and there's another 3 and out for Utica.
Terrace, low snap, gets the punt off. It's a good high one. He's going to drive the return man deep. Did he touch it? He says he didn't. The ball sails into the end zone, picked up by a Falcon who's going to celebrate a would-be touchdown, but I'm going to say it's a touchback. Boy, that's a tough one. The referee was right there. And they're going to come together now and discuss whether or not that punt was muffed.
And if he got a hand on that, as you mentioned, that is a touchdown being recovered by Utica in the end zone. That's a game-changing play right there.
So big decision right now by these refs. They don't have the luxury of instant replay, and they're going to say a touchback. So 1:04 in the first quarter. We might look back at that play and think what if, but they'll say a touchback. So LCN dodges a potential bullet there, and now Ford is going to sub some players out. We're going to have a timeout on the field as Ford uses their second timeout of the half.
Great timeout there by head coach Anthony Smith over on the Utica Ford sideline. Mentioned it earlier in that last drive, but giving your defense a chance to rest. They didn't get that chance on the sideline. Get them out set. Call them back in. Okay, guys, here's what we're doing. This is the game plan. You need to stop LCN right here. This defense needs to come up big.
LCN wasting no time. They put their offensive unit back out onto the football field, and here comes the Falcons now. Mentioned Coach Smith, his first year at the helm at Henry Ford, the second. Coaching experience over at Utica High. Szymanski directing traffic. Spread look once again. Throw to the outside. Stiff arm. Drag down the 23-yard line. Pick up a 3. Under a minute now remaining in the first quarter.
Michael Miles is back out on the field. He is split to the left in the slot, but looks like that knee or ankle, whatever he bugged up on that last drive, is okay. Yeah, that's big for LCN.
Good sign to see him back out there, and they're going to throw it to him. Miles catches, turns, and gets annihilated. Evan Pletz once again with the tackle. That's a welcome back to the game that Miles wasn't anticipating.
That was he was left out there to hang. Pletz knew right where that football was going and was all over it. I mentioned a ball hawk on this game so far.
Pick up a 4, brings up a 3rd and 3. LCN will just let the clock expire. So we've played 15 minutes here at Robert Zimmerman Field, and it's the home team, the L'Anse Creuse North Crusaders, that lead it over the Utica Ford Falcons, 7-0. Quick break here on MTGH Channel 5, but when we come back, the start of the play in the second quarter.
Hi, I'm Jordan Peele. I'm usually trying way too hard to be funny. Well, right now I'm going to be completely serious with you. Online bullying is a toxic side effect of modern technology. No one's immune to it. Not you, not me, nobody. But there's a way we can fix it. This emoji in the symbol section of your phone's emoji keyboard. Use it when you see bullying online to say, I see what you're doing, not cool, definitely not funny. And I know what funny is. I coined the phrase wordness to the turdness. So join me and become a witness. When you see bullying online, use this emoji to do something. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org.
Welcome back to L'Anse Creuse North High School. Crusaders facing a 3rd and 3 to start the second quarter of play. They lead at 7-0 for the Ford Falcons. Szymanski, a short touchdown pass to Xavion Smith, the lone score of the quarter. Szymanski, fastball looking for Miles on the slant route, can't connect. And LCN will be forced to kick it away. Just what the doctor ordered there for a Falcon defense that had to be gassed at this point.
Yeah, it was a big-time stop to be able to get the ball back to your offense.
Kick is short, fielded at the 41-yard line, spun around, stays on his feet, does Thompson. Goes out to his right and picks up a couple on the punt return. Not much available to Thompson there, but good field position here for the Falcons.
And a chance for them, just mentioned it, control the ball game, control the pace. They got to get something going. The running game hasn't been working too well for them as they keep trying to go up the middle. Maybe we'll start to look for the pass game a little bit more. Something's got to change up a little bit. All we've seen Utica is in that pistol formation with the one back.
Now Ford picking up their lone first down on the very first drive of the game. Chance Kirkwood looking for his receiver. It's Platts up top. A little bit of a timing route there on the far side, and Platts turned around and the ball was already on him, and it falls incomplete. So 2nd down and 10. 11:44 left in the second quarter.
To that last point, as mentioned, maybe go back to the air a little bit. He hasn't looked too good. A couple thrown balls we've seen there. He was off on the timing with his wide receiver. The last play, a wounded duck, that 15-yard into the corner, that wobbly throw.
This time the handoff to Wells, looking for a hole on the left side. Finds one, gets it up to midfield. Ball will be spotted right at the 50-yard line. So a pickup of 7. Good gainer there on 2nd down, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 3.
Textbook between the tackles run by Wells. Hit his hole, hit it hard, and bursted right through. Had 5 yards in a blink of an eye.
Kirkwood once again will turn and hand to Wells. Wells moving those feet, but nothing available to him. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and now it'll be decision time for Ford. It'll be a 4th down, 3 to go. The line to gain is the LCN 47. And it appears that Ford will leave their offense in. Number 2, Chance Kirkwood, the quarterback's going to stay in. Man deep is their punter, Jeremy Terrace, and this will be a punt. Terrace takes the snap, gets the punt off. Fielded at the 10. Turning on the Jets, number 16, Kyle Turner, far side. Finally driven out of bounds by Kirkwood. So an interesting little wrinkle put in there by Ford to put your quarterback is when the up men there in that punt formation will pay attention to see maybe if he takes a direct snap at some time.
Exactly, and that's exactly why it's done. You practice like that. He was out there on the last 2 punts, but it gives you that option when you're at midfield, 3 to go in the 4th quarter. Maybe you direct snap it to Kirkwood. Maybe you get a little bit less coverage by the receiving team, break a block down, them having that thought that Kirkwood is in the backfield, Cheetah step up to the line, and that gives you an open step to a tackle.
So this penalty will go against LCN. It's going to be a hold. The ball would have been spotted at the 37. Going to move them all the way back to the 18-yard line, so 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So what would have been good position for LCN backs them up quite a bit, so they'll take over at the 18-yard line. Szymanski fakes the handoff. Nope, will give it. Spun down and tackled. Chance Kirkwood moving up from that safety position to make the tackle. Kyle Turner, the junior, took the handoff. So they'll give him the line of scrimmage. So bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Ran into the teeth of that defensive unit on the top side. They got 3 linebackers in the middle. Started all last year. Ostentowski, George, and Mason, and ran right into him. Great coverage by the defense to bring up a 2nd down.
Szymanski barking out the signals. Turner, the lone running back to his left. Turner goes out in that wheel route. Pass goes over the middle. The big man, number 32, Logan Simons. The tight end's going to scamper to the 30, the 25, the 20. Sticks out the stiff arm, stays on his feet, dives for the end zone, and got it. 6 points for LCN on a rambling touchdown catch by the tight end, Logan Simons, the junior, into the end zone for 6. And the Crusaders lead at 13-0.
What a great play. And you got to give the credit. Just before midfield, Miles on this near sideline blew up the guy on his back end, and that opened up the pathway down. Good job by the big guy to stay on his feet, show some agility, tiptoe the sideline, and dove into the end zone. Phenomenal play by the Crusaders.
You just wondered if Simons was going to be able to stay on his feet. He stuck out the stiff arm, and bad snap there on the extra point. Taking off for it. There are all kinds of Falcons out there going to finally bring the kicker down. So the extra point is no good, but let's go back to that touchdown play once again. Logan Simons, just a simple crossing route out of the tight end position, catches it and then turns upfield. You mentioned tiptoes that sideline, sticks out the arm for the stiff arm, gets tripped up momentarily, and his momentum carries him into the end zone.
Yeah, and a great play by design. As you mentioned at the beginning of that play, it was a wheel route, so they thought naturally you're going screen top side. If you see that running back and you're on Ford's defensive side of the ball and you see that running back take off to that high side, you're automatically thinking screen. Great job. The deep wide receiver crossed right behind him and just opened up enough space, because on that cross, jammed up the cornerbacks and opened up just enough of a window to be able to haul that one in. And then he took it over from the 40.
Yeah, the big man got moving, and there was no bringing him down. And nice dive there to get the ball over the goal line for 6 points. The extra point, as we mentioned, no good. So Crusaders now out in front, 13-0, and this is an offense right now that's clicking on all cylinders. And Shella, the kicker, driven to the turf on that last extra point, will kick this one deep, fielded at the 1-yard line. Brought up by number 14, Tavion Thompson. Big hit by the Crusaders special team. Jacob Levy, the junior, with the tackle.
Great coverage by the Crusaders. Thompson's eyes got it wide open once he hit about the 10 and jetted up the middle, but that hole closed as quickly as it opened, as he had 5 black hats on top of him just over the 20-yard line.
So the opening line of scrimmage here on the 5th drive of the game for the Falcons will be the 22-yard line. And really, after that first drive, they picked up that first down on that rollout of the QB, Chase Kirkwood. They have really had no sustained offense.
Absolutely nothing.
And Wells gets it up to the 30. Nice pickup of 8 yards on first down. The Falcons have been able to pick up some chunks early on, but haven't been able to maintain a possession. Are having a tough time on third down. Credit that LCN defense.
Yeah, that third, they keep getting these third and shorts, but all these passes, they haven't completed outside of that first third down pass and beginning of this quarter, haven't completed a pass since, just riding Wells up to the middle and what he can get. And
a mistake there is the Falcons' false start. Nick Judd, 68 on the left side, jumped early. So walk off of 5 yards will bring up a 2nd down and 7 to go. 9:24 remaining in the opening half of play. So glad you decided to tune us in here on MTGA Channel 5. 2nd game of the season that we've covered. And what is shaping to be an outstanding season within the Mac White. Kirkwood on the slant through the hands of the intended receiver, Tavion Thompson. Sailing up and over Thompson's head. So bring up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 7, and this is a Ford offense that just cannot stay on the football field.
Great coverage by this Crusaders. They're putting 7 in the box every single time, and what goes along with that front 7's the strength of this Crusaders defense, but the back end is holding their own. They're able to cover these wide receivers 1-on-1 and putting 7 in there. If Ford can't run the ball, they're going to be in trouble here.
3 wide receivers set. Kirkwood, that designed rollout. They were successful on this play the first go around, in and out of the hands of Thompson. Thompson, that would have been good enough for a 1st down, but unable to come down with the football. So for the 5th straight time, the Falcons will be forced to punt the ball away.
We saw that play on the 3rd down in the first half, or the first quarter, excuse me. Much better executed the first time around. That time, Crusaders had a couple defensive backs right there to sandwich in between them, and just great job reaching that arm around and ripping that ball up. That's what you want to do as a cornerback. Try to break that play up. You're not just out there to make a tackle, make it incomplete.
Kyle Turner, the deep man for LCN, as the Crusaders bring all kinds of pressure and tip that punt. Turner's going to have to watch this one bounce and roll inside the 20 all the way down to the 16-yard line. So a terrific kick there by Jeremy Terrace. Even after getting that kick blocked, he's pinned LCN deep once again.
Terrace, the best player for Utica Ford right now.
And he's been the busiest at least, right?
The busiest, and a couple of very good punts. They're long punts, and they're high, and they're allowing his coverage team to get down there. It's about the only thing holding Utica Ford in this game right now. Their offense just looking real messy against the Crusaders.
And this is a LCN offense, Adam, that has 2 long, sustained touchdown drives. They had a 90-yard touchdown drive and an 81-yard touchdown drive. So a team that's not afraid to be backed up. Handoff up the middle, up to the 20 before getting cut down. Samuel Bodley. This is an LCN offense that has got the job done through the air. Eight minutes, 20 seconds now remaining in the second quarter. LCN out in front, 13-0. Ford showing some pressure. They bring it. Szymanski takes a big hit, diving for the football just through the hands of the intended wide receiver on the outside, number 11, Xavion Smith. Smith, the first touchdown catch for LCN, just unable to come up with that diving effort, but a terrific job by him to even stretch out and make a play on that football.
Hear a lot of people, a lot of professionals talk about a next level play. You know, you're playing high school, that looks like a college play. That looked like a college throw right there from Szymanski. Was right, put it about a half yard in front of Smith. Just couldn't quite connect, but way to stand in the pocket, stay strong, and get that throw off.
Szymanski might have had to throw that a little bit sooner than he wanted because of that pass rush. Gets this one out. It's intercepted. No surprise. Number 7, Evan Pletz, comes up with the INT, and that might be the big play that the Ford Falcons were in desperate need of here with 8:01 remaining in the second quarter.
And it'll give the offense the field on a short yardage situation. Only 29 to go to get that score. But as mentioned the play before, you know, it looked like a college-like throw. That was a very poor throw. Xavion Smith was covered top and bottom. He was blanketed by both the cornerbacks. One of them was going to come away from it. Pletz just stepped up in front and took that ball right out of the air. Smith had no shot at that ball.
You can just tell Evan Pletz, next level intelligence on the football field. He's a player out there and jumped that route. came away with the INT and gives Ford really their first real good field position of this football game. The 29-yard line of LCN. Good pitch and catch right on the money. Joey Sorgi tripped up at the 15-yard line, and Ford now in business inside the LCN red zone.
That's the first confident throw Kirkwood has thrown. That ball looked like it was intended for someone, and he threw it with a purpose. That's what he's been missing. There's a couple very lazy throws so far in this game. Not that one. Pinpoint accuracy.
LCN defense going to call a timeout. They want to talk about it. And credit Ford, that quick change after the turnover. You attack that LCN defense right away on a pass play, and they're able to connect for 14 yards, and they are knocking on the door with 7:56 remaining now in the first half.
And just a real quick discussion, Anthony Kiner to his team. Didn't need a whole lot of time. Just send the message, hey, guys, calm down. They haven't had anything on offense. Don't give them to it here because the offense turned the ball over. Come up here, back your team, make another stop.
It's only Ford's second first down of the evening. Kirkwood looks over at his bench. Two receivers to his left, one at the very top of the screen. Lone running back is Alex Wells. And procedure penalty here before the snap. And this is just shooting yourself in the foot, and the Falcons can't afford these pre-snap penalties.
And they've had three mental mistakes I can note from this first half so far that have cost them, where they finally, you think, for a second, the momentum's going to start to swing in their favor. They go out and make a small mental mistake that might cost them. I'm going to
say that was offsides, actually, on the LCN defense. So that's a defensive penalty. We stand corrected. So 5 free yards there for Ford. I thought for sure it was a false start, but they say offsides. Wells takes the handoff. LCN defense answers, knocks him down right at the line of scrimmage, so it'll bring up a 2nd down and 5.
Coming in this game, we knew that the offense and defensive lines for both these teams, this game was going to be decided in the trenches. LCN's got that advantage so far. Another time you see 2, 3, 4 black hats penetrating into the backfield, disrupting Utica Ford's rhythm and offense.
Another pre-snap penalty. I'm not going to guess on this one. I'll let the refs decide at this time. Yeah, this is really a young offensive line for Ford. I believe they only had one returning starter along the offensive line. So it's another offside penalty. So they'll put the ball down at the 5-yard line, and where it'll be 1st and goal for the Ford Falcons.
And nine new offensive starters this season for the Utica Ford Falcons. One of them returning being the center. So you do have the anchor right there on the offensive line, but when you're surrounded by young, it can be tough, and they are a little undersized. Doesn't mean they're underworked.
Kirkwood, straight handoff to Wells, moves the feet, gets it up about the 3-yard line where it'll be 2nd down and goal to go. 7:10 left in the second quarter of play. Ball spotted right in the center of the field.
Left side of that line doing the job that time for Utica Ford, and Wells doing his job following the blocks. Take your 3 yards, move on to the next play. Great red zone offense, great red zone execution.
Pistol look, looking to pass this time. Kirkwood brought down, he's sacked. Pocket collapse, and it was Tyler Leroy down there with the sack. Brought down back at the 11-yard line.
When you're knocking on the doorstep and need a score like this, you stick to the running game. It's what's the only thing that's been working for you on offense. Keep the ball on the ground with Wells, and instead they're backing up behind the 10.
So a loss of 8 yards. Brings up a 3rd and goal. Falcons going to have to hurry. They send a man in motion. It's Wells, and now another flag came from the judge on this near side. They were pretty close to taking a delay of game penalty. And instead they false started. And they move the ball back 5 yards, put the ball at the 16-yard line. So it'll be interesting to see the play call here on the Falcons if they want to take the conservative route. Wells in motion once again, goes to the right side. Good pass rush, stepping up in the pocket, throwing it out to number 14. Tavion Thompson falls incomplete, and the Falcons will have a decision now on the 16-yard line.
Thomas Monty, the junior defensive back for L'Anse Creuse North, in single coverage that time on Tavion Thompson. Coach Kiner letting his players ride it out. This is a young Crusader team. There's only one way you're going to learn. Is get out there and play the ball, and he got the job done that time.
So it appears the Falcons will attempt a field goal here. Jeremy Terrace, the punter, is also the place kicker. It's on that far right hash. The ball's at the 16, so it's a 33-yard field goal. The kick is up. The kick is good. With 5:51 now remaining, the Falcons on the scoreboard. They trail it 13-3. So the Falcons come away with points after the interception.
And they really stalled out at the latter part of that, the last couple plays. They were within the 5, and then the sack, then the false start. Good job by the Falcons fighting through there, scavenging some points, get on the board, pull it within 10 before halftime. That was an important momentum boost for them, to be able to just see some points, some progressions within this game, and not totally lose on every drive.
And Jeremy Terrace is a very reliable kicker and punter, so Coach Anthony Smith marches him out, takes the points, wanting to come away with a little bit of something there after your defense comes away with that big interception.
And that's more mental than anything, as opposed to just 3 points on the board. It's still a 2-score game, but gives something to rally around. The defense now has to come back again and shut down this Crusader offense again, but that's something to rally around for your team. They just look very dysfunctional in the first quarter, starting to come around a little bit, and that should help lift the spirits over there on the Falcons sideline.
Kyle Turner, one of the deep men back for LCN, dangerous kick returner. Terrace has the ball on the tee. A low line driving kick, gonna fly over the head of Kyle Turner and out of the back of the end zone. Turner gonna get his sprints in and pick up that football. The ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line. Already the 6th possession for LCN, 2 touchdown drives, and the last at INT thrown by Szymanski.
Coach Kiner's got a lot of trust in Szymanski, the junior quarterback. Couple pretty tricky throws, not easy route combinations, not simple plays they're running out of this LCN playbook. It's an intricate offense.
Ford showing a little bit of pressure. They back off. Spun down, late flag going to come out. It's going to be Chance Kirkwood with the tackle. Gatine with the reception. Minimal gain there, pickup of about 3 on the play. Personal foul, face mask, so this will be a 15-yard from the end of the reception and an automatic first down. So the Ford defense there are not doing themselves any favors.
No, that's another mental lapse. It's been a big difference in this game. A couple times, Utica Ford able to come out and you go, hey, here's your chance to get back in this game, the momentum on your side, and they hurt themselves again there and move the ball up to the 41. And these are just, it's a young team, but these are mistakes you can't make.
Handoff. Right side up to the midfield, across and in to Ford territory. Sam Bodley picking up 12. So Bodley, the main setback here for this LCN offense tonight.
And Bodley's a strong running back, the senior in the backfield. He got hit at the 40 and carried that over midfield.
Bodley gets the handoff once again. He's one of the captains of this LCN squad. No give up there as he's stretched out. Picked up 2 extra yards. Now they're going to mark him back at the 45, but good heads-up recognition to stretch that football forward. We'll say the knee was down at the 45.
Hit once, spun, hit again, and still had the knowledge to be able to reach that ball up.
Ford late with a player onto the field. Late substitution, hurt him there. Pick up a 15 all the way down to the Ford 30. So this LCN offense clicking once again.
Jacob Levy, the junior, hauling in that last reception, a name we haven't seen. Kiner's going to run a lot of substitutions in with this quick-paced offense. You see a lot of different faces.
Fake the handoff, swing pass out to Miles, who just flat out dropped it. Was looking to run before hauling in the ball, and he saw all kinds of green in front of him and couldn't wait to take off. And he's going to come out of this game a little bit of a limp. We mentioned he came off in that first quarter with an apparent injury, and I just wonder if he's just not 100%.
Yeah, and he got blown up on that play after, and we really haven't called his name since Putz hit him after that one reception.
Handoff. Taking it to the outside, looking for the edge, Kyle Turner. Not much there for him. Much better job of containment that time by Ford.
How about that decision-making there by Bodley to be able to cut up right before the wide receiver? That horizontal speed is just as important as that vertical to be able to make a cut, move upfield, take your 3 yards as there was nothing out on the edge.
So bring up a 3rd and 8. Szymanski looking to throw. Good pocket. Looking to go to the up top receiver. In and out of the hands. Was looking for number 18, Colin Taylor Johnson. That would have been 6. LCN going to keep the offense on the field.
What a terrific throw. Cross field, 30 yards on the back shoulder. Put that ball where it needs to be. Not saying it's an easy catch. Great attempt, but fantastic throw.
And had that man-on-man single coverage. Szymanski steps out of trouble, floats one up, incomplete. Now a late flag.
Looked like he was, I was going to say it as soon as the play was over, but it looked like he might have crossed up over the line of scrimmage. He was right there teetering on it, and initially that's what I thought. But that's one where you just tuck it and run. You're forcing it into a window that's not there.
Szymanski might have had enough room to pick up that first down if he would have just tucked it and ran it.
Exactly. That's just take it up, hit the sideline, bounce out once you got the first.
So referees come together to discuss this call, and if it is indeed a pass over the line of scrimmage, Ford will decline it and take over. Legal forward pass would be the call. An opportunity now for Ford, trailing by 10 points. And that is indeed the call. So Ford will take over right there at the 29-yard line. Big moment in this game if you're a Falcon fan.
4 minutes to go, one timeout over on the Utica Ford sideline. Maybe a chance to piece something together.
Wells looking for room.
Nothing.
Runs right into that big, strong defensive line for the Crusaders. Pickup of 2 yards. Clock continues to churn. Under 4 minutes now remaining in the second quarter. Ball placed at the 31-yard line. Line to gain is the 39.
This is where you take a chance. This is an opportunity. If Utica Ford, take a chance. Throw a wrinkle in there, switch it up. You've been showing pretty much the same thing most of the game. Go deep, go for the end zone. Try to bring this to one score before the half.
Kirkwood able to escape, tosses one out. Good coverage right over the middle. Was looking for Sorgi. So some of Kirkwood's best throws have been on the run.
And then we see another 20-yard throw just at his wide receiver's head, but fantastic coverage. You got to give this L'Anse Creuse North Crusaders defense big-time props on the defensive backside.
It's an LCN unit defensively as we have a Ford player down. You wonder if it's just cramps. As Coach Smith going to take a look at him on that far sideline, and mentioning that LCN defensively giving up 20 points per game. And Adam, this is a unit over the last couple years that at times has given up, 40, 50 points a game. I think last year they averaged over 30 points per game against defensively. So Coach really got to be pleased with the unit that he's put out on the field for the first 3 games.
Absolutely, and I mean it's an air raid offense. As that what Coach Kiner has had in his first 6 years. He's had some great players come along the lines, even put one in the NFL and the likes of Tyler Conklin. But having those kind of weapons on offense, your focus isn't going to be on defense when you're trying to put up 45, 50 points a game, which is what they've done in previous seasons in MAC play. But much more balanced for the first time in L'Anse Creuse North under Anthony Kiner. We're seeing not only a more balanced offense, and you're not throwing it 40 times a game, you're getting runs and throws, and they're doing short passes, long passes, drop in. You're seeing a lot of different looks from the Crusaders. But you have an equally good defensive unit. This is a very balanced team.
And it's a young team that should be good for a number of years, competing now out of the MAC White after moving down after a couple years in the MAC Red. And this is more, I think, of a natural fit for LCN. I know they like to play up in that MAC Red and play the big boys, the Dakotas, the Chippewa Valleys, the Ikes, but you also have some built-in rivalries now in the MAC White. So Ford needing to pick up a first down here on 3rd and long. A design QB keep just out over the first down markers to the 40-yard line. That was Evan Pletz that time, number 7, with the QB keeper. And Pletz now going to get some action at the QB position. So they are able to sneak him out onto the football field there after the timeout. And Pletz now will be your QB.
Coach Anthony Smith, this isn't his first rodeo. And when I mentioned that, hey, throw a wrinkle out there, there it is in Evan Pletz. I like the move.
This is Wells over midfield, close to the first down marker. I think he's got it. Under 3 minutes remaining in the second quarter. And LCN's going to want a timeout defensively as Ford picks up back-to-back first downs and have now driven it into Crusader territory. So Evan Pletz has really given them a boost defensively. He's got the interception, handful of tackles, and now going to get a look here at the QB position. Obviously has some wheels with that QB design draw play. We'll see if he can throw the ball. We haven't seen that yet out of Pletz, but maybe give him a boost offensively.
Evan Pletz listed at 6'1", 185. He's only a junior as well. Clearly the playmaker for this Utica Ford offense and defense. He's doing it both very well on both sides. Might give him a shot at quarterback. An agile guy. Looks like he's got a decent arm. Gives you a different look, and it's something. Crusaders were doing the same thing over and over in defense because it was working. Now you got to adjust your game a little bit.
Pletz in the shotgun. Wells takes the handoff. Upended. Big tackle down there. Pickup of 1 yard brings up a 2nd down and 9. Clock continues to tick. 2:40 left in the second quarter. Ford hurrying up to the line. Jalen Lowry, slot receiver, wears 13. Pletz just going to hold on to this. And a flag comes in as Pletz falls down finally at the 45-yard line. The flag came in right at the spot that the initial tackle was made.
Fake halfback draw on the last play for Pletz, so clearly something Coach Smith wants to do, try to get him involved in the ground game.
Another offensive penalty for Ford, and this is going to be a big one. It's a hold. Spot penalty, 10-yard walk-off. 5-yard walk-off. So ball on the Ford 47. Clock continues to run. You mentioned Ford only one timeout after they used a couple on offense. Five wide receivers, spread, look now, Pletz. First time he drops back to pass. Nope, he's going to tuck and run and upend it. Big hit. Crowd reacts to that tackle. Number 9, Griffin Woodson. Looking like another Woodson that used to wear number 2 for the University of Michigan. Well, that tackle. Back to the original line of scrimmage, which is the LCN 48. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 10. 90 seconds remaining. Ford, you're going to have to hurry. Pletz takes the chest-high snap, rolls out to his left, looks for a receiver, drilled as he throws, and Pletz is hurt. Pletz is down, and no whistle. Obviously, his hand went forward, did it not? LCN sideline saying a touchdown, that it was a fumble, a scoop, and score. And Ford's going to argue that this was just a simple incomplete pass. As Pletz walks off to the sideline, he looks like he may have injured his shoulder. And finally, the head referee will indeed say incomplete pass.
From up here, it's hard to see with the naked eye, but definitely looked like it was a forward motion pass. Something like that in high school level, most of them are going to get called forward because a play like that. Credit defense for being heads up and trying to run that ball back. You know, you always play. It's an old cliche, but you always play until you hear the whistle. There was no whistle. The referee was just standing there looking. So take a chance.
That's going to be a big blow. That's going to be a huge blow right there for Ford if Pletz is unable to come back in this game, as he just got absolutely annihilated trying to complete that pass. And you worry it's a shoulder injury. He got hit right underneath that throwing arm, and your defensive leader and playmaker on both sides of the ball. Low snap. Kick is off and away. It's going to sail out of bounds. So it'll be interesting to monitor Pletz's availability for the second half of play, and arguably you could say he's more important to them defensively. You roll the dice, put him in at quarterback. He takes that hard hit and could potentially miss some time, as there's a good look at Pletz getting some attention by the training staff.
Looks like he's pointing to the lower left side, or the left side of his lower forearm. Sitting there with the athletic training staff.
Katie Lalonda, the athletic trainer over there for Ford. They're going to rule the receiver down before that football came out, and another flag on the play. Callan Taylor-Johnson with the reception. But it's going to be a hold against the Crusaders with 1:05 remaining in the first half. Hasn't been the cleanest of halves of football. Numerous holding calls as well as procedural calls before the snap. So this will back them up all the way to the 16-yard line. This will be 1st and 25 now, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of approach LCN takes here offensively. And they will get the first possession of the second half. Looking to go deep. The outside jump ball, single coverage on that far side, and the pass falls incomplete with 52 seconds remaining.
Didn't have time to sneak it in with this quick-paced offense, but If you know anything about head coach Anthony Kiner, it's that he doesn't give in to anything at any time. So 52 seconds clock at the end of first, you can bet that he's going to be having his team go for a touchdown and try to get another score before the half. He's not just going to take a knee and head this one into the locker room.
A little bit of a gambler on the sidelines. We've seen him come out of halves with onside kicks and throwing the ball deep, and every possession valuable to coach. That's a handoff. Spins, gets it up to the 20-yard line, and LCN can't take the timeouts with you. And this one's going to come from the Ford sideline. So Ford will use their last time out of the half, trailing 13-3, and hopefully maybe give their offense one final crack here if LCN's unable to pick up the first down.
Worst case scenario with 46 seconds to go on the clock, you at least give your punt returner a chance to bring something back. And at this point in the game, you're looking for anything to go into the locker room with. Why not take the chance?
Yeah, a little right? A little momentum. Bring that into half, especially knowing that the Crusaders will get that opening kick of the second half. So 3rd and 22 to go. Ball at the 19-yard line. The line to gain is the 41. Beautiful night for football under the lights. Week 4 of the MHSAA schedule. Already week 3 of the Mac White schedule. Mac White, a game ahead of the rest of the leagues. Man, oh man, is Grosse Pointe South taking control of this Mac White. You mentioned at the very top of the broadcast, they've scored 66 points within the league and haven't given up a point yet.
They're scary, definitely a juggernaut at the top.
A little wheel route and just dropped, flat out dropped. Was looking for Kyle Turner, and Turner, second drop of this game, and you mentioned it, Ford on opportunity now to set up a punt return with 42 seconds left in the second quarter. They do not have any timeouts, but you just never know.
And worst case, I mean, you set up opportunities to set up a block punt, and then you can kick a field goal. You got a couple different options, but definitely with the speed of Tavion Thompson back there, we've seen some fast plays from him. He's a big-time threat in the return game.
Thompson's heels are on the 49-yard line. It's a high kick. It's going to take an LCN bounce and will be down right at the 49-yard line. So a couple additional seconds tick off the clock, and it'll be 27 seconds now for Ford.
Fantastic punt there by the Crusaders. You don't allow Thompson an opportunity to set it up with that short kick, but at the same time, you push him out to midfield, further enough away where they can't kick a field goal, and you trust your defense enough to make the stop.
And there's a look at Evan Pletz, number 7 for Utica Ford, helmet off. Doesn't appear he's going to come back into this game, at least here in this first half. So they go right back to Chase Kirkwood. Kirkwood, receiver down the middle, looking for the shoestring catch. Unable to come up with it was Tavion Thompson. So it only takes 5 seconds off the clock. So obvious Ford are going to try to take those chances deep downfield.
Shoestring throw to Thompson. It was right on the money, just a little bit too low for Thompson to be able to try to grab that in stride. If that's up at the hip, that's a completion.
Kirkwood looking to go up top to Thompson once again. Pass sails over his head, and Kirkwood's had some wide open receivers, just unable to connect.
Low-high coverage there. It looked like Thompson was just going to go deep, but on that zone, he was wide open there at about the 15-yard mark and just sailed right over his head as it looked like Thompson was going to turn, and Kirkwood thought he was going to go straight.
Terrace, a very good kicker for Ford. You Figure you got to maybe pick up about 15 yards to give him a shot. You don't have any timeouts. Be interesting to see if they work the sidelines here. Not going to get that opportunity as Kirkwood's going to go down. He's sacked. All kinds of pressure by LCN. Pocket broke down, and Kirkwood goes down, and that will do it for the first half of play. A terrific defensive effort by LCN. After 2 quarters of play, they lead it 13-3. Adam, your thoughts on the first half of play?
LCN was a diesel engine running that. They ran the game plan they wanted to run. Anthony Kiner's pretty happy looking at a 13-3 score coming in. Offense, yeah, you have some places you can get better, but that's always the case. Not a whole lot of mental mistakes. Your defense is playing very well, but you're sticking to the game plan.
We head into the break with the LCN Crusaders leading at 13-3. Stay tuned, the second half of play coming up next right here on MTGA and Channel 5.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Macomb County, 27 cities, townships, and villages. From East Point to Memphis, Romeo to New Baltimore. 458 square miles of where you want to be. It's a place where your children can grow, and so can your business. Macomb County's tree-lined borders contain over 12,000 acres of parkland. Its outer edge, 31 miles of freshwater shoreline, both filled each year with countless concerts, festivals, and family reunions. It's the birthplace of advanced technologies that not only instruct future generations, but protect them. Hey, and those are just facts. You can get that from the internet or a book. No. To truly understand what Macomb County is all about, you need to experience it. You need to live here. You need to work here. When you do that, you'll know you're home.
Welcome back to Robert Zimmerman Field. Brad Fetters alongside Adam Abraham. Nearly set to go here in the second half of play. LCN out in front 13-3. Touchdowns in the first and second quarters. We got LCN out to a 13-0 lead. Ford adding a 33-yard field goal to trim the lead down to 13-3. LCN will have the opening possession of this second half after Ford won the toss and elected to receive. Kickoff sails over the goal line where it is an automatic touchback in MHSAA. And Adam, LCN got off to that good start, and really their defense has held them in this football game.
Yeah, absolutely. Forced Utica Ford into 6 punts. That's 6 in the first half. Fabulous job. A lot of those drives, they didn't even get a first down on. They were 3 and outs. The offense was on the field a lot for the Crusaders. That's what Coach Anthony Kiner loves to see. He loves his offense, doesn't love his defense so much, wants them to do well, but he doesn't want to see them on the field because that means you're doing a good job, and they are tonight.
So it'll be interesting to see who's at the quarterback position for Henry Ford. Chase Kirkwood, the regular quarterback, got the majority of the snaps, gave way to really a terrific playmaker in Evan Pletz, who left in that second quarter with an injury. And Pletz, a playmaker on the defensive side of the ball, and I do not see a 7 in white out there to start defensively. So that's going to be a big blow for Ford if he's unable to come back in this football game. So LCN now operating from the 25-yard line after picking up 5 yards on first down. The handoff once again. Nice little juke move in the backfield and a pickup of 7. They move the chains. Good hard run there by Kyle Turner.
Continue that conversation about Pletz. Pletz is actually sitting on the bench on the east side of the stadium with an athletic trainer and a coach working on that knee still, it looks like. Doesn't look promising for their top playmaker. Costly loss on defense.
Those Pletz that took a shot playing quarterback. Might see a heavy dose here of Turner as they would like to just keep moving the chains and, more importantly, just keep eking out some time on the clock. LCN really a balanced offensive attack this season, and look maybe for a heavier dose of Kyle Turner here in the second half. As they open up now with 4 straight runs, really close to that first down marker, appears to be just short of it. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
If you're the Crusaders, there's no reason to go to the air right now. You're in the driver's seat. You got the ball. You're up a score and a half. You're up 2 possessions. And the running game's been working well today, those short pass game. There's no reason to take it to the air. Ride these backs to a victory.
So they'll give them the first down, and they go right back to Turner, who's met at the line of scrimmage and driven back. Nice initial push by that Ford defensive line. Big number 51, Austin Mayer, was in, along with a bunch of Falcons. Driven back to the 40-yard line, so a couple-yard loss there will bring up 2nd down and 12.
That's an offensive line that has manhandled the Falcons so far in this game, and they were able to get some some maroon hats in the backfield that time to stop Turner.
3-4 look out of the Falcons defensively, looking to open things up through the air. Colin Taylor Johnson, a wide receiver on the slant route, gets them inside Ford territory, and right back to the line comes Szymanski and the rest of the LCN offense.
3-step drop, turn, fire, your wide receiver's in the spot. He was looking, fantastic throw, caught on the run. Very tight offense running from the Crusaders. They're looking good.
It's time to hand off to Turner. Bottled up, keeps the feet moving. Unable to get much going there.
Despite being dropped at the line of scrimmage or losing a yard on that one, Turner shook off his first 2 guys. The first 2 guys laid on the ground as he's being tackled by guy 3 and 4. These Crusaders running backs, they take a beating. They got a lot of power. They're not afraid to play the middle, and they're going to eat up this clock and keep it moving.
A throw over the middle, going down to Pickett. Number 15, David Gatine.
Soft throw that time from Szymanski. Got his wide receiver 8 yards down the field, just like a box out in basketball, just boxed out the cornerback, muscled that football into his arms and brought it to the ground for a catch. They're knocking on the door of Ford here early.
Speaking of injuries, we haven't seen a lot of Michael Miles, who went down in the first quarter. Did the ball come out? Falcons are signaling that there was a fumble on the play. As Turner kind of twisted down, the ball appeared to pop out. Falcons all celebrating like they recovered as they separate the pile down there. It appears it's going to stay with LCN. So crisis averted there for the Crusaders. But it will bring up a 4th and short. 4th and 2. And appears to be some miscommunication. Szymanski kind of threw his hands out as to say, what do you want to do here? And a little bit of movement up front, and these procedural penalties have hurt both teams.
Falcons are pointing to the Crusaders. Crusaders are pointing to the Falcons. Don't know who jumped.
And now the Falcons will start clapping their hands, and it's a better indication that this penalty will go against LCN, and in fact it will. The false start, and that will change coach's mind as he will now punt the ball away.
A short punt, chance to pin the Falcons deep in their own territory. They're hoping to get this one within the 10, within the 15, and really try to give the Falcons a long field to work with. If you give that advantage to your defense, that's a significant. That's a win on this drive. If in the overall terms of this game, not a bad play.
Sorgi, wearing number 1, will move up and watch that ball bounce off the field turf and over the goal line for a touchback. So first possession now, the second half for Ford, trailing 13-3, 7:29 remaining in the third quarter. Chance Kirkwood really unable to get a lot going in that first half. Completed a couple passes, but was errant on the rest. And really, he's going to have to step up here in the second half. A little swing pass out to Joey Sorgi. Minimal gain on that far side of the field. Up to about the 23-yard line where it'll be 2nd down and 7 to go.
And the hole the Falcons got to work themselves out of right now is everybody for the Crusaders. They're playing tight press coverage across the board. There's no one really deeper outside of that one deep safety who might be 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Everyone else is up on their man.
Kirkwood takes the bell tie, snap, turns, and hands off to Wells. Alex Wells has really been bottled up by this LCN front seven. They've done a nice job of really closing any sort of running lanes, as well as really hasn't been able to break one here this evening.
And that's advantage Crusaders down there in the trenches. This D-line should be handling this offensive line, and for the most part they have. Wells has had a handful of successful runs, 8, 10, 12 yards, but outside of those 3 or 4 or 5 of them, maybe, everything's been down at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 6. You would anticipate this is an obvious passing down for Ford. 3 down linemen. That's the pressure they bring. They get to the quarterback. Pass goes high. It pinballs off a defender and is caught by Tavon Thompson. A goofy play that works out for Ford as Kirkwood's pass bounced off an LCN defender and into the waiting hands of Tavion Thompson, who picks up the 1st down all the way down to the 45-yard line.
And it was the hands of Griffin Woodson, the senior safety, that bounced right off of. He was shocked that ball went through the hands of the wide receiver, bounced right off his chest, but Tavion Thompson having the focus and the intention to stay with that play and bring that ball in, never give up on a play.
Kirkwood fakes the handoff to Wells and gets punished right at the 50-yard line. Pick up a 5 on the QB keeper. And this LCN defense has really laid the lumber a number of times on both quarterbacks as they knocked out Evan Pletz out of this game, and Kirkwood has taken a couple hits in that quarterback position as well.
And in a 5-yard weak side run on a quarterback keeper with your other quarterback sitting on the bench, we haven't seen him for the end of the second half or the beginning of this third. Is that a situation you really want to put your quarterback in?
Kirkwood, quick throw, driven hard and intercepted. Look out, plenty of green. Taking it to the house, and 6 points. And there is a penalty marker down.
Looks like that's going to go against the Crusaders, as the head official is not even going to walk past the 30 towards the Crusaders. He's standing there blowing the whistle, pointing at the flag, waiting to make the call.
Tyler Leroy, the defensive lineman, with the interception. But it'll all be for naught.
It looks like the call's going to be, not sure what it was. The referee was signaling that someone threw someone to the ground. That play started from that pressure from that strong defensive line. 3 Crusaders were in Kirkwood's face off that snap, which allowed the defensive end to be right there, shadow off. He's just that shadow off the line and bring down that interception off the tip from that pressure from the defensive line.
Coach pleading his case. He can't believe it. He's beside himself and will finally walk away from the head referee.
Anthony Kiner, I'll give him credit in situations like these where, yeah, you can have the discussion with the official all day. How many times in sports does an official change the call based off what a coach says? Exactly. So at that point, you see him wave his hand, walk away, say whatever. You got to take it with a grain of salt, move forward.
Well, now the officials are trying to decide where this football needs to go. The ball was originally at the 50-yard line after the QB keeper gained them 5 yards, and you would anticipate it would be a 15-yard personal foul, roughing the passer. So this ball should be marked at the 35-yard line.
And the officials still yet to make a call here on this. Still sorting it out. They finally pick up the flag.
So there's the call. There's the roughing the passer call. And the home crowd going to let the official know their thoughts. And now here comes the 15-yard walk-off, and indeed the ball will be spotted at the 35. So a huge dodged bullet there for Ford, as LCN appeared to have a pick six from a defensive lineman after two very dangerous passes to start the second half. So the touchdown's wiped off the board, and Ford still trails by only 10 points. 5:04 remaining third quarter, and a little check down pass into the flat, sails incomplete. Kirkwood was looking for Sorgi, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Utica Ford was just handed a gift by the Crusaders, and turning that pick six around, that's essentially game over the way this game been going, up 3 scores. If you're Kirkwood, you got to find a way to get this ball into the end zone. You got to move it forward. Got to make something happen here. This doesn't always happen. The Crusaders don't make a ton of mistakes. Take advantage of what you're being given with this short field and a first down.
More importantly, keep care of the football as Wells goes straight up the middle once again for one, as a couple of Kirkwood's passes here in the second half have been more than dangerous. We've had one bounce off Woodson and land in a receiver's arms, and another that ended up in the defensive lineman's arms. And
we've talked the whole game, front seven, both teams, front seven, Crusaders defense really starting to wear down this young offensive line. 5 new linemen on the line this year, or excuse me, 4 of the 5 new linemen there for Utica Ford. Starting to wear them down, and you can tell it's taking a toll, and then the quarterback's starting to get hit.
Kirkwood rolls out to his left, looking for a receiver downfield. Nothing available to him, so he'll scamper. He's got a first down. Somebody lost a helmet down there, an LCN defender. A nice individual athletic effort that time by Chance Kirkwood. Realizing everybody downfield was covered, so he tucked it and ran and picked up the 9 yards all the way out to the 25-yard line in the first down.
And that wasn't a gift by the Crusaders. That was a tough run, a couple jukes. Even had to get out of the way of the umpire there in the middle and able to dodge a little bit and go around. A good play.
Kirkwood, more dangerous when he's on the move. We've already seen him complete a couple passes. And it's Wells once again, as they kind of gave us that jet sweep look. Joey Sorgi came from the very top of the formation, and that's something we were told that Ford likes to run a bunch of. We haven't quite seen it yet this evening, but something to pay attention to as this game progresses.
And you could tell those corners were ready, because either side of that jet sweep, there were corners sitting there ready to make that open field tackle. And Kiner told us that before the game, their jet sweep offense. We'll see, maybe that's a wrinkle. That's a wrinkle we haven't seen from this Ford team. Shake it up a little bit as we move forward.
Big moment in this football game. 2nd down and 8. Wells once again. LCN brings him down at the 20. This LCN defense has had the answer seemingly all evening long, and last time Ford got into the red zone, LCN pinned their ears back and stopped them and forced them into a field goal. You remember, Ford was knocking on the door, had a QB sack, a couple of procedural penalties, really knocked them back, and they had to settle for that field goal. See what Ford able to do here now with the ball on the 20-yard line. Line to gain is the 15, 3rd and 5. Under 2:50 remaining here in the third quarter. Plenty of time for Kirkwood. So he drops back, surveys the field, looks for receivers, got one, in the form of Tavion Thompson. First down to the 12-yard line. So needed 5, picked up 8. And of course, there's a flag on the play. Why not?
Good play call there by Anthony Smith, the head coach of the Falcons. Bunch formation that time, only had the one wide receiver and Tavion Thompson split to the top, but a whole lot of traffic in the middle of the field opened up a wide open Thompson for the first down.
So they will pick up the laundry, and Ford will now have a 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. So able to pick up another first down without scoring. Falcons trail in this ball game 13-3, but are knocking on the door. Nice sustained drive here by Chance Kirkwood and Henry Ford II. 3 wide receivers set, 2 to Kirkwood's left. That's the way he looks, and instead will tuck and run. Cuts upfield, knocked down, just short of the first down markers. And another penalty flag. Unbelievable.
Possibly a little bit of helmet-to-helmet contact as Kirkwood took a dive at the last moment. As that flag came from the back judge and looks like a hold.
Well, that's what hurt Ford their last time they were able to get into LCN territory. Driving inside the 5-yard line as there's another look at Evan Petz as he's got that right arm all wrapped up. That was his throwing hand, and he landed awkwardly on it, and his evening is officially done.
What are you going to do here if you're Utica Ford? It's another tough penalty pushing you back almost outside of the red zone on the 19.5 when you're on the doorstep again. Time's not on your side in this game with it clicking down.
And it's really untimely mistakes. A little miscommunication there perhaps between quarterback and running back as Kirkwood looked to hand that ball off to Wells, and Wells was already through the line. So a little RPO there in the backfield, and another loss. Loss of 5 yards brings up a 2nd and 22 to go. And Jeremy Terrace, a terrific kicker for Ford, and you got to figure if you're unable to get another first down, you're just going to want to put points on the board and trim this down to a 1-possession game. But Ford, other things on their mind right now. Kirkwood going to roll out to his left. Plenty of protection this time. And another ball that pops straight up. Jump ball, and nobody able to come down with it. We have had some goofy bounces here tonight. That one went straight up in the air.
That was a wild throw from Kirkwood. He had Thompson there, but Thompson just not able to get up, tipped up and straight up. It's like a sandlot football game on some of these throws. Well, they throw the ball up, and all the kids are jumping for it.
And game 500, right? Call out a number, and whoever catches it gets that amount of points. And LCN might want to go back and practice their tip drill this week at practice, as they've had a couple would-be interceptions dropped. But Ford somehow surviving here by the skin of their teeth. 3rd and 22, ball at the 24. Kirkwood. Like a cat with 9 lives. He's had plenty on this drive. Kirkwood feeling the pressure, gets it out quickly. That ball's intercepted. 9 lives ran out. Kirkwood can't believe it. Is Ford unable to put points up on the scoreboard. Throws the interception, his first of the game. And this LCN defense pins their ears back once again and comes away with a takeaway.
And that senior defensive back, Griffin Woodson, coming up with the big-time interception there for L'Anse Creuse North. Read that route, knew where his wide receiver was going, beat him to the spot, made a nice little slide into the catch, and turned that ball back over that vicious Crusader offense. Get that machine rolling. They haven't quite had the scores to show for it, but this L'Anse Creuse offense has been dominating this game.
And go right back to the run game and try to chew up the remaining time that's left on the big board here in this third quarter. And you got to think that interception there for Ford is really quite the backbreaker, because you took off nearly half of the third quarter on that drive and have nothing to show for it.
A drive that doesn't happen without that roughing the passer call.
So their second time into the red zone, and they're only able to come away with 3 points. It'll be back to the drawing board for this Utica Ford offense. It's only averaging 13 points per game. So that will do it for our third quarter. Each team with only one drive. A punt for LCN and an interception thrown by Utica Ford after 3 quarters of play. The home Crusaders lead it 13-3 when we come back, the fourth and final quarter of play. From Robert Zimmerman Field right here on Macomb Township Government Access.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Brad Fetters along with our newest member of the MTGA crew, Adam Abraham, coming to you tonight from LCN with the Crusaders leading 13-3, nearly set for the fourth quarter of play, and the Crusaders face a 3rd and 1 from their own 19-yard line. Adam leading by 10 points. They've been in cruise control seemingly all evening long.
The running game's working, the passing game's working, the defense is working their butts off and really holding this Utica Ford team down. It's going to be a fight here at the end, but LCN definitely holds the advantage.
And all kinds of movement up front as the LCN wide receivers took off and the ball had yet to be snapped. It's going to be the easiest call these officials have made tonight. That moves them back 5 yards and will bring up a 3rd and 6. And really, got to credit this LCN defensive group as a whole. They finally come away with that interception, but really have bottled up Ford all night long.
Yeah, and we gave a lot of credit to that front seven of L'Anse Creuse North, but we see how it starts, and it's starting and it's working so well because these defensive backs are playing excellent.
The southpaw, Szymanski forced to throw, and a terrific throw to David Gatine, moves the sticks. Szymanski has been sharp. He does have the one interception on their last possession, but really a lot of just simple passes, a lot of design plays for him to get it out quick, and he's been really solid tonight.
And he's had a couple big-time plays go out, perfect throws, and just hasn't been able to connect.
And now he'll keep it on the run, gets a nice block on the outside, and will take a good lick by number 14, Tavon Thompson. Michael Miles out there for LCN wearing that number 1. Good to see him back on the field. He hasn't had to do a lot here this evening. We mentioned he got kind of banged up in the first half and hasn't really had any carries from the running back position, but they've had him in the slot, and he made a nice block on the outside that allowed Szymanski to pick up that first down. Ball spotted at the 42, approaching the 11.5-minute mark of this fourth quarter. Turner turns, dives forward. That's Samuel Bodley. Check that. Thought it was Kyle Turner, but instead it's number 14, the senior captain Bodley. A little change of pace out there, having Bodley in the backfield. He'll be in the right pocket now of Szymanski. Szymanski motions him over now to the left to provide that extra protection. And another short pass to Miles. Miles makes one man miss up to the 41-yard line. Quick hitters.
It's an easy slant play from Miles from Szymanski. They've been doing that all day, and they've been doing that for a while. It's super, just a light pass right over the top of his offensive lineman and let Miles do the rest.
So it'll be Bodley that stays in the backfield. Oh, and Miles fell down. Michael Miles took a spill and broke up that play.
3 straight plays. Ford has gone to a blitz, some type of blitz package. This last play they sent 6, and Miles would have had a real nice pickup there if he wouldn't have slipped, but Ford wants to bring the pressure. LCN's going to go to the air.
What a change of pace the second half's been. As that ball in and out of a receiver's hands and into Colin Toon's hands. It's an interception. The second forced in the second half by Henry Ford.
And that was just a straight-up takeaway out of the hands of Anthony Petrucci, the junior wide receiver for the Crusaders. Just had it ripped right out of his pocket, had the catch, and it's taken away from him.
So the two teams training turnovers via the interception. I mentioned that's the second turnover of this half. And Ford just staying alive right now, getting some second and third opportunities. Still really have yet to get anything going offensively as Alex Wells has found sledding to be rough out there. Able to get it just back to the line of scrimmage.
Keep in mind, it is a 2-score game as well. As we look at 10:25 to go on the clock. That's not a ton of time to be able to get a field goal and a touchdown, and that's just a tie, assuming the 2-point or the extra point.
I was just getting ready to say right prior to that interception, this has really been a change of pace half. Both teams combining for 15 drives in the first half. This is only the 4th drive of the second half. So both teams with long sustained drives in the third quarter. And really the story of the night for Ford has been missed opportunities as Tavon Thompson got open on that slant pass and just unable to connect with that chance Kirk would throw.
Really, it's not taking what you're given. LCN has presented multiple opportunities for Ford to be in this game, be tied in this game, or even have the lead. And they've had numerous opportunities, just haven't capitalized. Just need that one difference in one play. And they haven't had that wow factor, that difference.
Ford has had problems all night long converting on third downs. It's the 3rd and 10. Kirkwood plenty of time, throws it into tight coverage. No shot for his wide receiver there. As it was excellent coverage once again by Griffin Woodson. He's been a playmaker defensively for LCN. He has been a difference maker out there. Pass intended for Joey Sorgi, and once again, Ford will be forced to punt this away. Low snap, picked up, nearly blocked. The kick is away. Kick is short, and we'll take an LCN bounce. That one backed up. Looked like one of your wedge shots, Adam, as that one spins back and finally goes out of bounds right about the 43-yard line. I assume you play golf. You play golf?
I am a golfer, but that's definitely not my wedge shot. I'm 20 yards the other way.
So the ball will be spotted on the right hash. 9:50, all that is left in regulation, and
it's a rule that broadcasters have to play golf, right?
Absolutely. Got to do something in our spare time, right? Well, we're not preparing for games, that is. Szymanski gonna pass. What a surprise. And he'll just throw this one to the far sidelines. Nearly was able to connect with a receiver. Xavion Smith, who does have a TD grab in this game, was the receiver nearest to the pass.
It was Joey Sorgi in coverage, and if that ball's on the mark, Sorgi at the end of that play had slipped behind Smith. So if that's a catchable ball.
A little surprised that they come out passing.
Very surprised, honestly. I saw that snap going. It was audible, wow. It's keep that ball on the ground. Your run game's been working. Why freeze the clock when you're under 10? Different look here from the Crusaders.
It's Turner in the backfield. He takes the handoff, gets ripped down from behind. Terrific open field tackle by Joey Jennings. So 3-yard loss back to the 42-yard line. So decision time here once again for LCN. 3rd and long. Do you pass for the sticks or do you just keep the clock moving on the ground? They're going to pass. Szymanski, open receiver. Over his head, was looking for Smith once again.
I talked about it earlier. Anthony Kiner, head coach Crusaders, is not someone who gives in. If he has an opportunity 3rd and long, he's going to go for that first down. He's not going to just take a couple yards and punt the ball away. He's going to take his shots.
Xavion Smith ran past the chains, turned around. Good timing route on that comeback and was open. And Szymanski just unable to connect as he sails that one over the junior Smith's head. Well, once again, LCN going to kick this one away. So Ford given plenty of opportunities throughout this football game, just kind of able to cash in. This one's fielded this time by number 14, Thompson, looking to go to the near side. Nothing available to him, so he turns, changes directions, and will lose yards on the punt return. So the ball will be spotted at the 23-yard line with 8:50 left in the 4th quarter. So Ford's going to need some instant offense now. Their 2 second-half drives have resulted in an interception and a punt. They were knocking on the door. They had the pass intercepted before they could find the end zone.
Ice pack off the hand of Evan Pletz over on that far sideline, so maybe a return. You can't rule it out.
Never say never, right? He's been terrific. He was so good on those first couple drives defensively. He was all over the football field. And they bring him in as a change of pace quarterback. Give him a look as Chance Kirkwood was unable to get the job done in the first half. And Pletz took a hard hit, landed funny, and injured his throwing arm and had to come out of this ball game. So big blow offensively as well as defensively for Ford. Clock continues to click down. 8:15 left in the 4th quarter. Ford trailing 13-3. Gonna have to hurry here. They need at least 2 scores as they send a man in motion. They give on the jet sweep. Colin Toon providing the lead block for Wells. They fake it and give it to Wells, and it's going to bring up now a 3rd and 6.
Let alone the huddling. I'm surprised they're not going to kind of a no-huddle up tempo, but honestly, this Ford team's still taking their time. We're under 8 minutes to go here in the 4th now. They're down 2 scores. I expected that up tempo we saw in the beginning of the game, but it's not there.
Kirkwood takes a belt-high snap, 3-step drop, feels pressure, will get driven down on the QB sack. That's number 33 for LCN, Simeon Bodley.
Great play by Bodley. Blew up one of the Henry Ford. He blew up the Henry Ford right tackle. Absolutely just ran him over off the line and just had a free run at Kirkwood and did not miss. Great tackle. The ball's coming back to the Crusaders.
Well, we've said it. Seemingly, it was Bodley nearly had a block punt there. We've said it seemingly all night long, but this LCN defense has been terrific. You go up and down the list of names. Simeon Bodley coming away with that last QB sack. They have applied all kinds of pressure on Chance Kirkwood. They've made his night a living nightmare. It's no surprise we got another flag on the play.
Looks like it's going to be after the play.
Flag right about the 42-yard line. Kirkwood hasn't had a lot of time back there at the quarterback position. Alex Wells really unable to get anything going on the ground. This one been one of the better defensive performances that I have seen in my numerous years of calling LCN football. They were good against L'Anse Creuse in the opener that you saw right here on MTGA, and they held that Grosse Pointe North offense to 14 points. But what they've done here tonight has been just short of amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, calling LCN, I've going to L'Anse Creuse High School. I saw them back in the heyday of 2012-13 when they were putting up 50 points a game. But since Kiner taken over, he was a tight end at Western Michigan. So he's an offensive-oriented guy, and that's what he's instilled one way or another, has always found a way to put up big-time points, less focus on the defense. This year he finally got a unit to figure it out.
And this is a Utica Ford team that has owned this series. Lately the games obviously have been closer, but it's been all Ford. So credit this LCN team turning the tide here.
Yeah, a couple years ago, Utica Ford was one of the heavyweights up in the MAC Red with Chippewa Valley, Dakota, Eisenhower. Dropped a couple years ago as just kind of your division standings reflect play and record. They go in a line and realign teams every 2 years, so they took a step down.
Szymanski will throw one out on that wheel route once again. Receiver just wants to stay in bounds and will in fact pick up all kinds of yards. That was number 15, David Gattin, and Ford 8-1 all time against LCN.
Let's keep in mind, before Anthony Kiner took over in 2012, this LCN team was 0-18. He had 2 defeated seasons, and it has not been a historically great program. They've had their moments of shining, but to have continued success like they've had a couple seasons, a couple bumps in the road, but overall doing a fantastic job over there in his tenure.
Crusader team that wants to get back to the playoffs. That is a forward pass. It falls incomplete, and obviously the magic number is 6 within the MHSAA, and the schedule doesn't get a lot easier for this LCN team as they look to move to 3-1 here tonight. You got to pick up 3 more wins, and you're looking at an upcoming schedule going on the road against Warren Cousino. That should be a winnable game for LCN. That could potentially move them to 4 wins before they stay on the road, facing their MAC Red crossover game against Eisenhower before returning home to face Grosse Pointe South, who's at the very top of these MAC White standings. So this little 3-game Ford, Cousino, Eisenhower South, this is the most important stretch for LCN of the season.
Especially considering they run out the season the week before Halloween with Dakota High School, absolute heavyweight state champions over there on the other side of town, just down the road on 21 Mile Road. Big-time rivals. I know a lot of Crusaders, you get the inter-district rivalry between L'Anse Creuse and L'Anse Creuse North. A lot of people here at L'Anse Creuse North say their rival is down 21 Mile, the next school over, Dakota High School.
And talking to Coach prior to the start of this one, I said, basically, how important is this one? And he said it was a must-win game as the tight end gets open once again, and he's going to scamper to the house. His second TD of the game, Logan Simons.
This guy, Simons, is running through this Utica Ford defense like they're not even there. Literally just pushed off, like dusted off 3 defenders to march his way into the end zone, straight downfield. Great play, and that touchdown just about puts this game out of reach for the Falcons.
5:34 remaining. Szymanski to Simons, the big junior tight end, has hauled in 2 TD receptions. None bigger than that one as we await the extra point of Minchella. Minchella missed on his previous try and knocks this one straight through, and Crusaders now lead the Falcons 23 with 5:34 remaining. So It looks more and more likely that LCN is going to pick up that third win of the season. You look ahead to Warren Cousino on the road. You don't like to call it a gimme, but that one's a MAC Blue team, and it's a game that should be won by LCN. And then that matchup against Eisenhower, a team that Coach said they've been able to play pretty close the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's something's in the water over there at Utica Eisenhower. But this LCN team has always come to play. Whenever they travel to Eisenhower, Eisenhower comes to their house. They're out there. They're looking to win the game, regardless of the white-red standings.
So we're going to have to pick up a win. We're going to have to pick up 2 wins over Eisenhower, Grosse Pointe South, Utica, and Dakota in order to automatically qualify. That's a tough road.
That's a Grosse Pointe South team that could definitely be playing in the red. Might win the red if they were in it. Be excited to see how this progresses down the roads as we get a little bit closer to playoffs.
Just an absolutely brutal schedule for LCN when you look at those MAC Red crossover games. Both of them on the road at Eisenhower, and then you mentioned that game at the end of the season at Dakota, as well as is able to break one here on the kick return all the way up to the 38-yard line. As you take a look at Utica Ford, a little bit of a rebuilding year. We mentioned how young this team is. They got a bunch of home games coming up, and that crossover game with Frazier. And they also play that mix of Dakota and Eisenhower in their MAC Red crossover games. So a very difficult schedule for Utica and first-year head coach Tony Smith.
Yeah, and Tony Smith coming in, he came from Utica High School, and unfortunately, due to the circumstances of Coach Smith coming to the high school, Utica Ford's head coach, Todd Cohn, who was coming into his 3rd season, unexpectedly passed away in early July. So Coach Smith saying, hey, I'm going to step up for the district. I'm going to go down the road and coach for this team.
Wells, first real open space that he's been able to operate out of, picks up 8, brings up a 2nd down and short, approaching the 5-minute mark of this 4th quarter, and Ford now down 17 points, trailing 20-3. LCN got the job done defensively and quickly became the Logan Simon show here as he's had 2 long TD receptions from that tight end position.
They're an offense that can create plays with just about any player.
Toss out to the flats. Sorgi looking for room, not going to get it. Colin Toon losing his helmet. He's going to have to come out of play. Joey Sorgi slow to get up. Ball will be marked at the 45-yard line. Brings up a 3rd and short. So it's going to be interesting to see how this MAC White plays out. Obviously, Grosse Pointe South in the driver's seat as they've gotten off to a perfect start. 3-0 overall, 2-0 in MAC White play. We mentioned that perfect 66-0. Their point differential within league play is they've just beat up on teams, including Warren Mott, who some might have thought might have been the favorite coming in. Mott making that move down from the MAC Red, and Coach Tom Milanoff, one of the seasoned vets. He's been at Warren Mott seemingly forever, and this is such a pivotal game within league play as L'Anse Creuse North has that matchup with Grosse Pointe South looming in a couple weeks. So 4th down, down 17, got to go for it. Kirkwood drops back, rolls out, gonna tuck it and run, and he's gonna spins again, and picks up the 1st down inside of LCN territory. Good solid run there by Chance Kirkwood.
Just broke through some easy arm tackles. If you're LCN on this defense, you've done a great job all day. Got to go the full length of the 4 quarters. That's what Coach Kiner, as momentum's definitely in their favor, even coming from their last game, the 2nd half against Grosse Pointe North. Got to keep this unit strong. They've been disciplined. They've been staying tuned to their assignments. You don't want to break away from that just because you're in the lead here, and that's what that last play looked like.
Yeah, I want to play that full 48 minutes of football as the handoff comes and knocked down Frank Schultz, the ball carrier. Two and a half minutes, all that left between LCN moving to 3-1 on the young season. Got off to that early start. Thanksgiving is fairly early in November this year, and obviously that's when the MHSAA plays their championship games at Ford Field. So football starting 2 weekends prior to Labor Day. Hard to believe we are already in week 4.
And we're getting to the exciting point of the season with the MAC where you start to see the heavyweights bout it out. Everyone next week has their calendar circled. Chippewa Valley traveling to Dakota, MAC Red Showdown, and that might just decide. A lot of people believe that might decide the next Division I championship, as Chippewa Valley and Dakota are two of the best teams in the state this year.
And Chippewa Valley already has a very impressive 21-point victory over Eisenhower in the MAC Red opener for them. Dakota 49-27 win over Anchor Bay, who makes that move up to the MAC Red this season. Yeah, could potentially be a pseudo MAC Red championship game next week. That should be a good ball game. Third down and 10. Chance Kirkwood looking for a shallow pass, intercepted, going the other way. Hunter Shorkey, one of the captains of this LCN defense. Second takeaway here of the second half, and that will do it. This LCN defense, ball hawks here tonight. A couple takeaways. They had a third that was nullified by a penalty, roughing the passer call.
And these are takeaways that are starting with the pressure on that offensive line. When Kirkwood's got two guys in his face, not a whole lot you can do but throw interceptions and cause turnovers when that defensive line is getting penetration, and this offensive line has really broken down this second half. That front seven, fantastic, Crusaders.
Turner tried to stay in bounds. The whistle definitely blew to signify that he was down. The ball did come out. Ford sideline desperate for a fumble recovery call. Coach Smith right there pleading his case. Possession will not change here as all the players take a knee. Ford player shaken up right at the line of scrimmage marker. Looks like number 27.
Chad Ostrowski, a linebacker for this Falcons team.
Getting looked at by Katie Lalonde, head athletic trainer over there for Ford. A few things obviously LCN needs to work on offensively. It hasn't been a perfect game, I don't think, offensively.
No, not at all. And they've had a couple big plays, but where I would like to see them work on is what could really make the difference for this L'Anse Creuse North team is if they can hit on some of these long passes. You saw that they were just, his wide receivers were just a half step ahead of Suzmanski's throws. Just a half step. And we're looking at those couple plays, might make it another 2 touchdowns for the Crusaders. Just missed on a couple big ones.
Yeah.
That's kind of the one thing they're missing. They don't really have that big play threat.
That's something they had the last couple seasons with the arm strength of Blake Daniels at the quarterback position and Szymanski, a junior quarterback. Kind of just those simple check down passes out of the junior signal caller, but just a steady performance here tonight by this offense. Put up 20 points, which is just about their average offensively. LCN averaging 19 points per game coming into tonight's contest, so right at that season average as their defense that stepped up. Szymanski hands off and simple dive forward, and we'll move the chains and more importantly keep the clock rolling. 81 seconds remaining. LCN will improve their overall record to 3-1. Move their record to 2-1 in MAC white play as Ford will drop to 1-3, 1-2 in league play, and it'll be back to the drawing board for Henry Ford II, and you just got to hope for their sake Evan Pletz is going to be okay.
Yeah, and that's a playmaker on both the offensive and the defensive side. Their defense just looks like a different team. They were getting pressure on the wide receivers, covering those swing passes and those short routes. Evan Pletz was the man and had that one big pick for him as well.
So straight dive play once again is LCN will put the finishing touches on a very impressive victory here in this league contest. This clock continues to tick down. Adam, why don't we get your final thoughts here tonight in your first broadcast on MTGA?
It was a lot of fun to come see these Crusaders come back out and take the field. I think they're definitely they're the wild card here in the white. If anybody's this is Grosse Pointe South's division to lose.
Yep.
Is what it comes down to. If there's somebody who can make noise with them, I thought it would have been Grosse Pointe North. It's not. The Crusaders beat them. I think it's the Crusaders, and with this offense, and they're only getting better and better by week. Each week you see them, they're a better team, and they're going to keep making these steps and progress to what I believe is winning the MAC white.
That matchup with Grosse Pointe South will take place at home for LCN on October 5th, and one I'm sure a lot of Crusader fans will look forward to. So once again, final score here tonight from Zimmerman Field at L'Anse Creuse North. The Crusaders over the Falcons, final score 20-3. 2 touchdown grabs by number 32 Logan Simons, as well as a TD grab by Xavion Smith. For Adam Abraham, I'm Brad Furs, and the rest of our hardworking MTGA Channel 5 crew. I'd like to say goodnight from LCN once again. Your final score, L'Anse Creuse North Crusaders 20, the Ford Falcons 3. Thank you so much for watching this production. We'll see you next time right here on MTGA.